Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into nudge today.
Ah, yes, nudge. Such a fascinating exploration of behavioral economics.
Exactly. It's all about how these subtle nudges, like little
Oh,
pushes.
absolutely. Like, think about how grocery stores place candy at the checkout.
Yes, you're more likely to grab it on impulse.
Right. That's a nudge in action. Instead of banning candy, they're strategically placing it to increase sales.
So nudge is about understanding those little influences, those nudges that shape our decisions.
Precisely. And it explores how we can use nudges to improve people's lives, not just boost sales.
I love it. It's not about manipulation. It's about creating environments that encourage good choices.
Exactly. It's about making the good choice the easy choice, like with organ donation, for
Oh,
instance.
right. The book talks about using opt-out systems for organ donation.
Yeah, making it the default option leads to more people becoming donors
Wow.
simply because they don't actively opt out.
Fascinating. It leverages our inertia, that tendency to stick with what's already chosen for us.
It's amazing how powerful that can be. And it's saving lives.
So simple, yet so effective. But what about those sticky situations where our own biases get in the way?
Ah, yes. Nudge talks about self-serving bias, which can really lead to conflict.
Right, that tendency to see things in a way that benefits ourselves. The book uses divorce as a prime example.
Oh, absolutely. It's tough because both parties tend to believe they're in the right, making it hard to settle.
So how can nudges help with something as emotionally charged as a divorce?
Nudge suggests using predetermined ranges for alimony and child support, like guidelines, to anchor expectations.
Interesting. So instead of starting from scratch, there's already a framework.
Exactly. It takes some of the emotion out of the equation and makes it easier to reach an agreement.
It's like setting the stage for a more rational negotiation.
Precisely. Now, let's shift gears a bit. The book also dives into charitable giving.
Yes, the Give More Tomorrow program. I found that concept really intriguing.
It seems counterintuitive, right?
Hmm.
People are more willing to give if you ask them to increase donations in the future.
It's like delaying the gratification.
Exactly. It taps into our present bias, our tendency to prioritize immediate rewards. By asking for future increases, you bypass that.
And the results are impressive. The book mentioned a 32% increase in donations.
That's the beauty of understanding human behavior. We can design nudges that work with our natural tendencies.
Nudge also talks about simplifying the tax system, especially when it comes to charitable giving.
Oh, yes, like that idea of a charity debit card. It would make donating so much easier.
Imagine a card specifically for donations, automatically tracking everything for your taxes.
Exactly. It would remove a lot of the friction and hassle, encouraging people to give more.
And it builds upon the concept of the automatic tax return, where the government pre-fills your return.
It's all about streamlining the process, making it easier and more efficient for everyone.
It sounds like a win-win. Now, those are some big picture examples. How about something more personal, like individual goals?
Well, there's stick.com, this website that helps people stick to their goals through commitments.
I love that. It's about adding a layer of accountability, right?
Right.
The book gave some really fun examples.
Yes. You could make a bet with friends where the loser's money goes to a cause they hate.
Oh, that's a great motivator. Or commit to something big, like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro.
Exactly. It's about harnessing external motivation to keep us on track.
And the book also explores how nudges can help us break bad habits. Those are always tough.
Right. Nudge mentions the CARES program in the Philippines. It encourages quitting smoking through rewards and penalties.
So you get rewarded for success, but face a consequence if you fail.
Exactly. And what's amazing is that it's been more successful than nicotine patches in helping people quit smoking.
That's incredible. But sometimes a nudge can be something as simple as bitter nail polish.
Oh, yes. A simple yet effective deterrent for nail biting.
And then there are more extreme nudges, like the drug disulfiram for alcohol addiction.
It induces negative reactions when taken with alcohol. It's a more forceful approach, but it shows the range of nudges.
It's like a spectrum, from subtle reminders to more intense interventions.
Exactly. And the book explores a wide range of applications, including promoting safety and reducing risks.
One idea that caught my eye was requiring special licenses for motorcyclists who choose not to wear helmets.
Interesting. It incentivizes responsible behavior while still giving people the freedom to choose.
And there's the concept of gambling self-bans, allowing people to restrict their own access to casinos.
It's about empowering individuals to take control of their behavior and protect themselves from potential harm.
It's fascinating how nudges can be applied to so many aspects of our lives.
And they can even be used to promote healthier lifestyles. the book talks about innovative health insurance plans.
Like the Destiny Health Plan that rewards people for healthy activities like gym workouts and health checkups.
It's about aligning incentives to encourage people to be proactive about their health.
And then there's the controversial $1 a day program, where teenage mothers get paid for not getting pregnant.
It sparked a lot of debate, but it raises important questions about how we can incentivize responsible choices.
It's definitely pushing boundaries. Nudge also delves into environmental nudges, which feel especially relevant today.
Absolutely, like that simple red light nudge reminding people to change their air conditioner filters.
Right, a small visual cue that promotes energy efficiency and better air quality.
And there's the concept of the iPad constantly displaying your carbon footprint.
Wow. Imagine the impact of seeing that every day.
It could be a powerful motivator for people to make greener choices. Then there are smart meters that compare your energy use to your neighbors.
Ah, a little friendly competition. It's amazing how social comparison can drive positive change.
But of course, we can't ignore the potential ethical concerns surrounding nudges.
The book talks about the importance of transparency and responsible implementation.
Absolutely. The publicity principle suggests that any nudge should be something that can be publicly defended.
It's about ensuring that nudges are used ethically and not for manipulation or hidden agendas.
Exactly. We need to be careful not to cross the line into coercion or infringe on people's autonomy.
So nudges are a powerful tool, but they need to be used wisely and with careful consideration of their impact.
Absolutely. And nudge addresses some common criticisms head on, like that slippery slope argument.
The fear that nudges could lead to excessive government control and erode our freedom of choice.
Right. But proponents of nudges emphasize that they preserve freedom of choice through opt-out options.
It's about offering guidance, not dictating behavior. Another criticism is the idea of redistribution, taking from one group to benefit another.
But many nudges actually benefit those who need help the most without imposing significant burdens on others.
It's about creating a system that supports everyone in making better choices, not about taking from one group to give to another.
Precisely. And while some argue for forced choosing or simply providing information, those approaches have limitations.
Nudge points out that choice architecture is inevitable, and neutral information is often impossible to achieve.
So nudges can help simplify complex choices and guide people towards better outcomes.
It's about recognizing that we're not always perfectly rational, and that we often need a little nudge to make the best decision.
Nudge also introduces asymmetric paternalism, which focuses on helping those most likely to make mistakes.
It's like a safety net for those who need it most, without hindering those who consistently make good choices.
Like those cooling off periods for major purchases, they benefit impulsive buyers without restricting others.
It's fascinating how nudges can be tailored to address different needs and personalities.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this first part of our deep dive into nudge,
It's been a great overview of the key concepts and applications of nudges.
we've seen how they can influence our choices, from the grocery store to the ballot box.
And we started to explore the ethical considerations and potential pitfalls.
But this is just the beginning. In our next segment, we'll delve even deeper into specific examples of nudges in action.
We'll see how they're being used to tackle real-world challenges and explore the future of this fascinating field.
So stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive into nudge. It's going to be a nudgetastic ride.
We'll see you there.
So, picking up where we left off, nudges can really make a difference when it comes to things like transportation safety.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, how can we nudge people to be safer drivers? I'm super curious about that.
Well, get this, they've tried removing the dividing lines on some slower roads.
Really? No dividing lines. That's wild. What's the reasoning behind that?
It's kind of crazy, right? But it makes drivers feel less certain, so they slow down and become more careful.
Ah, so it plays on our need for clear boundaries, and without them, we're more cautious.
Exactly. It's like our brains are saying, whoa, better slow down. Things are a bit unpredictable here.
I love that. It's like a gentle reminder to pay more attention. What other nudges have they tried for drivers?
Well, there are those speed display signs, the ones that flash your speed as you approach.
Oh yeah, those. They can be startling sometimes, especially if you're going a bit over the limit.
Exactly. Instant feedback.
Hmm.
Makes you think twice about your speed.
It's like a little tap on the shoulder saying, hey, ease up there, speed racer.
Haha. Yeah. It's all about making us more aware of our actions.
Now, are there any fun nudges for drivers? Something a bit more playful.
Nudge mentions signs that show a smiley face if you're driving at a safe speed.
No way. What if you're speeding? A frowny face.
You got it. It seems silly, but those social cues can be surprisingly effective.
I bet. It's like getting a little pat on the back or a disapproving look from your mom.
Exactly. It taps into those ingrained social responses we have.
Switching gears a bit, I was intrigued by the nudges related to food and eating habits.
Oh, right. Nudge has some clever ideas there, like using smaller plates in cafeterias.
Makes total sense. Portion control without even realizing it.
Yep. You see a smaller plate, you tend to take less food. Simple as that.
It's all about tricking our brains into thinking we're getting a full plate, even if it's smaller.
Exactly. Our brains are weird like that, easily fooled by visual cues.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, are there other ways to nudge people towards healthier eating?
Well, you could strategically place the healthier options in more visible spots.
Oh, I've seen that. Like the salad bar right up front or the fruit basket at eye level.
Makes the healthy choice the easy choice.
Absolutely. Out of sight, out of mind, as they say. Okay, now let's talk personal finances. That's a big one.
Oh, for sure. One effective nudge is encouraging people to set up automatic savings transfers.
Ah, the pay yourself first mentality.
Exactly. You automate good financial habits so you don't even have to think about it.
It's like tricking yourself into saving. Out of sight, out of mind for your spending money, too.
Uh-huh, exactly. Are there any other financial nudges that come to mind?
Well, I've heard of programs that match your retirement contributions.
Oh, yeah, those are fantastic. Who doesn't love free money, right?
Seriously, it's a great incentive to save for the future.
It really is. So we've talked a lot about individual nudges, but can we use them for bigger issues like societal problems?
That's a great question. Can nudges really tackle those large-scale challenges? I'd love to hear more about that.
Well, the book dives into that, especially in the context of environmental issues, which is super relevant these days.
Definitely. Climate change is a huge concern, and I'm really curious how nudges can help with that.
For example, we could use default options to encourage people to make eco-friendly choices.
Interesting. Like what kind of default options are we talking about?
Well, imagine if your printer was automatically set to double-sided printing.
That's a good one. I always forget to change that setting.
Right, but if it's the default, you save paper without even thinking about it.
It's those little things that can make a big difference in the long run, especially when everyone's doing it.
Absolutely. And how about making renewable energy sources the default option for electricity?
Oh, that's a great idea. So instead of having to opt in, you'd have to opt out of green energy.
Exactly. It makes sustainable choices the easier choice.
I love that. So it's about shifting the default towards a more sustainable future.
Precisely. And what about nudges for charitable giving? Do any come to mind?
Well, making donations easier through payroll deductions could be a good one.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic nudge. It makes giving a regular habit.
Right. You don't even have to think about writing a check or going online to donate.
It just happens automatically. And then there are programs that match your charitable donations.
Ah, so your impact is doubled. That's a fantastic incentive to give.
It is. It's like getting a bonus for being generous.
Speaking of generosity, I think it's important to acknowledge that nudges aren't without their critics.
Oh, absolutely. There are definitely ethical concerns that we need to address.
Like, one of the biggest concerns is that nudges can be used to manipulate people.
Right, and that's a valid concern. We have to be careful not to cross the line into coercion.
It's a fine line between nudging and manipulating, and transparency is key.
Absolutely. People should always be aware of the nudges being used and have the option to opt out.
It's about respecting their autonomy and not forcing them into choices they wouldn't otherwise make.
Exactly. Nudges should be used to empower people, not to control them.
Now, what about the argument that nudges are ineffective? That they don't really change behavior in the long run?
That's a common criticism, but there's actually a lot of evidence to suggest that nudges can be quite effective.
Like we saw with the smoking cessation program and the organ donation rates. Those are pretty compelling examples.
Right. And even small changes in behavior can lead to significant outcomes over time.
It's about creating a ripple effect, nudging people towards better choices that ultimately benefit everyone.
Exactly. It's not about forcing people to do something they don't want to do. It's about making it easier for them to do what they already want to do, but maybe just need a little help with.
I like that. It's like giving people a little nudge in the right direction.
Precisely. And Nudge actually talks about this idea of choice architecture. Have you heard of that?
I have. But can you remind me what it is exactly?
Sure. It's basically the way choices are presented to us. It's the design of the environment in which we make decisions.
So it's not just about the choices themselves, but how they're framed or presented to us.
Exactly. Like, think about a menu at a restaurant. The order in which dishes are listed can influence what people order.
Oh, for sure. I'm always drawn to the specials or the dishes highlighted at the top of the menu.
Right. And that's choice architecture at work. It's subtle, but it can have a big impact on our decisions.
So are you saying that we're constantly being nudged, even when we're not aware of it?
Absolutely. Choice architecture is all around us, shaping our choices in ways we might not even realize.
It's a bit mind-blowing when you think about it. So if we're all being nudged anyway, why not design those nudges to be beneficial?
Exactly. That's the whole point of nudge. It's about being intentional with choice architecture to create environments that help people make better decisions.
So it's about being architects of our own choices, in a way.
Precisely. Now, going back to the ethical considerations, transparency is super important when it comes to choice architecture.
Right. People should always be informed about how their choices are being influenced.
Exactly. It's about being open and honest about the nudges being used. And equally important is respecting individual autonomy.
People should always have the freedom to choose differently, even if they're being nudged in a particular direction.
Exactly. Nudges should never be used to coerce or manipulate people.
It's about providing guidance, not taking away their freedom of choice.
Precisely. And as we've discussed before, nudges should always be used for good, not for personal gain or to promote hidden agendas.
They should be used to improve people's lives and create a better society, not to exploit them or advance selfish interests.
Exactly. But despite these ethical considerations, some people still criticize nudges, arguing that they're a form of paternalism.
Like it's the government or some other authority figure telling us what's best for us, even if we don't want to hear it.
Right, and that's a valid concern. But proponents of nudges argue that they're not about taking away people's freedom. They're about helping them make choices that are in their own best interests.
It's like a parent guiding their child, not dictating their every move.
Exactly. It's about providing support and guidance, not control. But of course, not all nudges are created equal. Some are more effective than others, and some work better in certain contexts than others.
Right. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. So how do we know which nudges are most likely to work?
Well, that's where research and evaluation come in. We need to carefully study the effects of different nudges and see what works best in different situations.
It's about using a scientific approach to determine which nudges are most effective and ethical.
Exactly. And this is where you, our listener, can play a role. By becoming more aware of nudges and their impact on your own choices, you can contribute to this growing body of knowledge.
So it's like we're all part of a giant experiment, figuring out how to nudge ourselves and each other towards a better future.
That's a great way to put it. Now, are you ready to dive into some real-world examples of nudges in action? I have some pretty fascinating ones to share.
Oh, absolutely. I'm all ears.
So we've talked about the power of nudges and seen some real-world examples.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff, but like with any experiment, you got to analyze the results, right? See what's actually working.
Exactly. We need to figure out if a nudge is truly effective, which can be tricky.
Yeah, how do you even measure the impact of a nudge? It seems kind of fuzzy, not so straightforward.
It's not always easy. You have to carefully observe and track the outcomes, see if they align with the goal.
But kind of like A/B testing, right? Trying different nudges to see which one performs best.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And like A/B testing, you got to be ready to tweak things if a nudge isn't working.
So what are some of the challenges in measuring a nudge's effectiveness? I bet it's tough to pinpoint its exact impact.
Oh, for sure. It's hard to isolate the effects of a nudge from all the other things that influence our behavior.
Yeah, like trying to figure out if a plant grew because of the fertilizer or the sunlight or the water or all of them combined.
Haha, exactly. It's a tangled web. And then there's the whole question of long-term effects.
Right. Some nudges might show quick results, but do they really stick? Does the behavior change last?
Exactly. It's like those fad diets. You lose weight fast, but gain it all back once you stop.
Oh, I know those diets all too well. So for nudges, we need to track those long-term effects, right?
Absolutely. We need to see if a nudge leads to a real, lasting change in behavior, not just a temporary blip.
So it's about making sure the nudge creates a sustainable shift, not just a quick fix.
Precisely.
Mhm.
Now, looking ahead, what do you think the future holds for nudges? It seems like a field with so much potential.
It does feel like we're just scratching the surface. Where do you see this all going?
I think we're only at the beginning. As we learn more about human behavior, we can design even more effective and creative nudges.
That's exciting. So in what areas do you see nudges playing a bigger role in the coming years?
Well, I think we'll see nudges increasingly used to address big challenges like climate change, poverty, and healthcare access.
It's like harnessing the power of nudges for the greater good, using them to make a real difference in the world.
Exactly. I also think we'll see more businesses using nudges, to influence consumer choices.
Yeah, makes sense. It's like a win-win. Companies boost their profits while also encouraging behavior that benefits society.
Precisely. And with all the advancements in technology, I think we'll see more personalized nudges tailored to each person.
Well, that's cool. It's like having a personal choice architect guiding you towards better decisions.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into nudge, what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
Hmm, that's a good question. I think the most important thing is to recognize that we're all nudgeable. Our choices are shaped by our environment, often in ways we don't even realize.
Yes. It's a good reminder that we're not always as rational as we think we are. We're influenced by so many subtle factors.
Right. But the good news is that by understanding these influences, we can design environments that help us make better choices, ones that align with our values.
Absolutely. It's about using our knowledge of human behavior to create a world where it's easier to do the right thing for ourselves and for society.
And it's about giving people the power to take control of their decisions and shape their own future, a better future for themselves and for generations to come.
Well said. It's been a fantastic deep dive into the world of nudges, exploring how these subtle influences can shape our choices and our lives.
Absolutely. We've seen how nudges can be used to address all sorts of challenges, from personal goals to global issues.
We hope this has inspired you to be more mindful of the nudges you encounter and to think about how you can use them to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you.
Remember, even the smallest nudge can make a difference. Keep exploring this fascinating field and join us again next time for another deep dive into a thought-provoking topic.
Until then, keep those nudges in mind and nudge yourself towards a brighter future.
And as always, thanks for listening.